This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube and Twitter for our NJPW Battle Autumn 2022 Roundtable review, covering the show from November 5th, 2022 from New Japan Pro Wrestling, main evented, headline by Will Ospreay versus Tetsuya Naito 2 for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and thank you for my esteemed colleagues for joining me. Of course, we have the master of ceremonies for New Japan Pro Wrestling, the man we go to each and every time when we need to cover these big shows from NJPW. He is J News.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your good brother J News, and we're back at it again. What a show, guys. What a show. Went down on Saturday. I'm not going to take up much of the time. We have my man up to the left, right, wherever he's at right now on the screen, the one and only Ness has come back to grace us with his presence here, talking some New Japan with me. Brother, how you been? Tell me how you feel.
I'm feeling pretty good, brother. Nice to see you guys on this lovely Monday morning or afternoon or wherever you guys may be at. Yeah, it was a good show, and I'm ready to finally be back to talk some New Japan, to get the taste of some certain companies out of my mouth.
Understandable. Ness was with me yesterday breaking down the action from WWE Crown Jewel, but it wasn't the only major show from professional wrestling on November 5th. So that's why we're here on this Monday morning for talk about NJPW Battle Autumn 2022. We want to thank you for joining us. We appreciate everyone who's joining us live, who is watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back by dropping a thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, if you are watching us on demand, let us know in the comments down below what you thought about the show. And if you're with us live, let us know in the live chat. Sound off. Let us know you're here. Let us know if you saw NJPW Battle Autumn 2022, or if we are your guide to talk about it and what you need to watch, what you don't have to watch. Either or, we are here to talk about it from NJPW. J News, what was your overall thoughts on the show? One word to give your thoughts on Battle Autumn before we break down the action.
I would say that this show, if I were to describe it in one word, progress. There was progress made on this show from a storyline standpoint. We know some of what's happening going towards Wrestle Kingdom. I would also say that this was a return to New Japan's way of being good, strong style matches here. Good Super Junior tag matches, Super Junior action in general. The flip-floppy shit does belong in the pro wrestling world, no matter what anybody says. God damn it. Some of these guys, but it is what it is at the end of the day. But we should start off talking about the matches in this show. Very, very good show.
Well, I also want to ask Ness, what's your one word to describe your feelings on NJPW Battle Autumn 2022?
Interesting. Very interesting. Just like Jay News said, some storylines were progressed, some other storylines began, and I'm here to see where it goes.
Yes, for sure. And let's talk about all the action that went down. Let us know in the live chat. Of course, your super chat donations are always appreciated. If you have a little bit to give back and you're feeling generous, we always appreciate that. With your thoughts, with your questions, if you have any questions for anyone on screen, it's the best way to have your comment highlighted on screen. But we will try to highlight as many comments as possible, like ALW, who is here with us saying SP3, Nessie Ness, and J News. What's up, good sirs? Hope all is well. We hope all is well with you, Alan Weinstein. Thank you for joining us this Monday morning. But let's get into the action from New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle Autumn 2022 from Osaka, from Edion Arena. What was the attendance for this show, J News? Do you have that?
I believe it was somewhere in like about the 4,000 range, but that's what Kevin Kelly said last night. Well, when I was watching or whatever, but it doesn't say that on the website though.
Well, close enough. And they kicked off things with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships up for grabs, as it was the champions United Empires, Francisca Akira and TJP catch /2 or Cash 22 or either or. I don't know how they're pronouncing it. And then you have the Los Ingonables de Japón duo of Bushi and the newest member from CMLL, Titan, who debuted with LIJ at Declaration of Power that we talked about last time on the channel here. This match was fast paced. It had a jump start with the challengers kind of picking up the pace and kind of keeping it throughout this matchup. In the end, though, it was TJP and Akira kind of working together, using the chemistry that they've kind of built up over the last couple of months, teaming with each other, becoming IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. And they kind of overwhelmed the challengers. Double knees from both TJP and Akira to Bushi. They took out Titan, and then they delivered their Leaning Tower Doomsday Bulldog finisher, which has won them the titles and gives them a successful defense here. I thought this was a really good matchup. Fun, fast-paced opener. I gave it 3.5 stars. What did you think, Ness?
Yeah, I gave it 3.5 stars as well. A lot of fast pace. Everybody knows that's my style of professional wrestling. I love it. I love the junior heavyweight division. It was not what I wanted to happen, because of course I'm the LIJ guy. It didn't go down that way. I wanted Bushi and Titan to get the victory, but I understand the whole storyline of the United Empire just being united and just this unconquerable force right now in New Japan. So them picking up the victory, it doesn't really sway my opinion on the show overall, because again, this was a great start to the show, great opener, great match, and props to everybody that was in the match. I would have liked to see LIJ win, but can't always get what I want, like I always say.
Fair enough. J News, what did you think?
I mean, this is how you start a New Japan show. The fast pace, you need the good, how you say, athletic wrestlers to start out and do what they do best, in order for people to just understand that there's different styles within New Japan where people can just come, sit, watch, have fun, and enjoy some professional wrestling. Other than that, I thought that Bushi and Titan actually looked pretty good together, which was surprising to me, because I hadn't been watching the shows leading up to the main show here at Battle Autumn or whatever the case is, so I didn't know how they were meshing, but it seems like they were meshing together well, and they put together some tag team maneuvers, which surprised me as well. Looked fluid, even though Titan did cost them the match. Bushi took the pin. They should be able to get back on the same page for the Super Junior tournament. I think they're going to go far in the Super Junior tournament, to be quite honest, not knowing who else is going to be involved in it so far. Well, actually, we do know who's going to be involved in it, but we'll talk about that later. I gave this also 3.5 stars as well. Great starter to a good show.
Yeah, I mean, why not just talk about it now?
Oh,
Since we are talking about the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, we might as well talk about. They did release the lineups for both the World Tag League and the Super Junior Tag League. We'll talk about the World Tag League when we get to the IWGP Tag Team Championship match on the show. But the lineup for the Super Junior Tag League is going to be the champions Akira and TJP. You got a chaos duo, a new duo of Leo Rush and Yo. Leo Rush making his return to New Japan at Rumble on 44th Street and forming this duo with Yo. Yeah, Los Ingonables de Japon's duo of Bushi and Titan that we just talked about in the opener. Bullet Club duo. I sent this to earlier to Ness because I know he's happy. You got Ace Austin and Chris Bay. Chris Bay making his NJPW Japan debut. Flying Tiger, which is Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask. You got House of Torture, which is Dick Togo and Sho. You got Wild Hips, which is Rasuke Taguchi and Clark Connors. You got Suzuki Gun, which is Duke and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And you got Kevin Knight and Gashida. I was like, whoa, Kevin Knight coming over, making his Japan debut. And then you got El Lindemann, once again, making his return to New Japan, along with Alex Zane. I was like, this is the best Super Junior Tag League lineup in years, since the Young Bucks were a part of it.
There you go, man. There you have it. I mean, at the end of the day, shouts to Kevin Knight, man. We met him at the show that Thursday before Rumble at 44th Street and whatnot, man. Real cool dude. You know, I always tell SP3 anytime I get the chance, man, he got the best bunnies in the game, that dude, man. So it is what it is. But no, man, this card, these teams, like when I saw the clip of Yo and Leo Rush like teaming up together at Rumble 44th Street, I was like, okay, this is interesting. So we'll see how this all forms out. But it seems to me, just my opinion here, that outside of TJP and Francisco Akira, I would say that that Bushi and Titan have the best shot, being that they've been the longest slated team in this one. Now, obviously, we're going to have whoever's going to be the underdog here, probably Leo Rush and Yo. I don't have any faith in Sho and Dick Togo. None at all.
It's House of Torture. They're the plague of New Japan. They're the plague of New Japan. No, never. I think there's a bunch of teams that's going to give us great matches, but as far as the favorites, I think, you could put LIJ in there with Bushi and Titan, but my favorites is Leo Rush and Yo. I think that's the hot team to go with if you're gonna make Wrestle Kingdom back into this one night super event. You know, you already got plans to have a WWE star in Carl Anderson defending the Never Openweight Championship. Now you're gonna have AEW stars for the IWGP tag team titles. You want a major star from outside of New Japan in pretty much a lot of these matches, and Leo Rush kind of fits the build there. So Leo Rush and Yo versus the champions Akira and TJP not only is going to be a great match, it also adds a little bit of star power that the other teams don't have.
That's a good point. It's a solid point.
Next up on the show, you had a 8-man tag. You had United Empires, Aaron Hanare, Gideon Gay, and Aussie Opens, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis versus Alex Zane, David Finlay, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Toru Yano. Talk about the most wackiest lineup for a babyface team that I've ever seen. The couple of notes that I have on this match is Gideon Gray's entrance and intro for United Empire is haunting. His voice is fucking haunting. But Aussie Open is great. That's my other note. Tanahashi was good going in there against Mark Davis, but it really came down to Aussie Open kind of establishing them in this matchup, hitting their finisher on Toru Yano to get the victory here. I thought it was a fun enough multi-man matchup. I gave it 3 stars. Solid start for Aussie Open getting the win here ahead of the World Tag League, which they'll be a part of. What did you think, Ness?
Yeah, I gave it 3 as well. Fun little match. Didn't really expect a lot out of it, being it was 4-on-4, and those matches do get a little bit chaotic, but not to the point where it's like, oh wow, this is like wow, this is too much going on in there. But it was nice again. The United Empire had to display their dominance, and that's what they're doing all up and down this card. They definitely did it here as well, and I'm actually kind of glad that Yano was the one that took the pin, because he seems like to be the one that gets away from that in these type of matches. So yeah, because that keeps like the rest of the guys looking stronger. And he's one of the guys that can take a pin, and it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, especially with you have David Finlay, who's kind of the up and comer baby face in like the heavyweight division. Tanahashi is still the ace. He will always be the ace. Alex Zane, they're kind of is a new star to them for their junior heavyweight division. Toru Yano's the guy. He can afford to take a loss.
Yeah.
What did you think about this match, Jano?
Well, to knock down something you just said, according to Kevin Kelly, Alex Zane is no one's junior heavyweight by all intents.
But he's in the junior tag league, so I don't care what you said, Kevin Kelly. It doesn't make sense. Something ain't computing. Those math ain't mathing. Because if he ain't a junior heavyweight, what the hell is he doing in the junior tag league?
Well, it is what it is. No, but fun match nonetheless. Always good to see Alex Zane in a New Japan ring. The fans love him. At the end of the day, the Baja Blast, the Taco Bell Man, whatever you want to call him, he is always exciting to watch in any sort of a match. I dug what Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis have been doing. It seems like they will be the focal point of the World Tag League going into that particular tournament coming up. Gentrified Hanare was Gentrified Hanare. At the end of the day, Gideon Gray, those intros he did during the night, man, it caught me a little bit off guard just because I'm so used to the New Japan intros. So when his like you said, when his voice hit, I was like, oh, this is just weird. This is just weird. But I mean, it worked for all intents and purposes. I would say, I think much like Ness said, Toru Yano taking the pin here just made sense. He can always take the pin in any sort of a match. Tana being Tana. I don't, me nowadays, the last couple of years with Tanahashi, man, I just, it can go either way. But, just a multi-man match to make sure that people know who the faces and the heels are. So that's pretty much how it went down.
Yeah.
I would say probably 2.75 stars because Gideon Gray didn't do shit. So
he wasn't supposed to do shit. He's there to be the mouthpiece, and I'm happy to have him. Gideon Gray, a part of the United Empire.
I like how they kept playing up on the fact that they're like, oh, this is a 4-on-3 match.
Yeah.
He's not going to do anything.
He's a money mark. That's all his character is. He's a money mark. He's basically Tony Khan, the character. But here we go. For the third match on the card, this was supposed to be for the Never Openweight Championship. We had Yujiro Takahashi filling in for Carl Anderson to verse Hikuleo. Hikuleo basically was the person who said for Carl Anderson not to be stripped. Early on, Yujiro Takahashi and Sho, they jumped Hikuleo before the bell, and then they forced the referee to ring the bell. And then immediately, Hikuleo ran through both members of House of Torture, hits a chokeslam on Yujiro Takahashi, and gets the win in about approximately 27 seconds. Hikuleo looking dominant. Ahead of probably getting the shot at the Never Openweight Championship whenever WWE's own Machine Gun Carl Anderson returns to NJPW. Any thoughts on this one, J News?
I called it. I said this is supposed to be a squash match, and it was a squash match. So thank you to Hikuleo for that. I promise, young brother, that I will stop giving you as much grief as I've had the last couple of years. You're getting better. Things are looking up for Hikuleo in his foray in professional wrestling. Hikuleo should be the Never Openweight
champion right now. He's right. Frantic World is right.
I storyline wise, I agree. Professional wrestling wise, hell to the no. But that's just my take on it. But we'll keep it there. I need to see more. I need to see more from Hikuleo in that regard. So surprising. Hold on, let me see, because we're going to talk about the World Tag League later to see as to how things are going to go in that regard, if he's going to be involved and things of that nature. But yeah, I think it was what it was. Ness, you tell me, 28 seconds of your life. Was this necessary? Was this necessary?
It really wasn't. That was going to be like my rating. Like, I give it a dud because I could have did without this. They could have just had, Hikuleo cut a promo on Carl Anderson, and that would have took more time than this match. And that would have made me more invested in the storyline of, Carl not being there and whatever the obligations that, he has going on with WWE, even though he should have been there. And that just leads into, Wrestle Kingdom and just garner that babyface sympathy for Hikuleo, because when he's supposed to have the match, doesn't have the match, can say like, oh, New Japan, don't strip Carl, and you're not going to take me seriously. You want to go elsewhere to other companies and fight there, lose at that. It didn't happen at the time, but he goes, doesn't show up in New Japan and goes and loses in another company. You can use all that, gain all that fire, push their storyline even more, because this was a waste. It really was a waste. 27 seconds of something that we really didn't even need.
Honestly, Finn Balor should be the never openweight champion. He pinned Carl Anderson on Raw. He pinned Carl Anderson on Raw. I'm just saying.
Listen. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, sir. You're not wrong. But what I was gonna say was the whole 27 seconds wasn't a waste. We did get to see Peter come out and join the Tokyo Pimp himself. So that was not a complete waste, but the wrestling match was a waste, nonetheless. So we'll take it there. And yeah, pause that. I'll be right back.
Yes, let's move on to the next match. We do have a comment here from Brett. It says, you can see NJPW is at least trying to give Hikuleo somewhat of a push right now. Yeah, definitely the squash victory, how powerful he looks, and just in general, NJPW does such a great job with their big men and their monsters of presenting them as these special attractions. I think they're doing that with Hikuleo. Wouldn't you say, Ness?
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially with everything going on with Guerrillas of Destiny and Hikuleo, pretty much in the middle of the Bullet Club, House of Torture stuff that's going on. It makes sense as to why they would be pushing him. And obviously, there's the Guerrillas of Destiny. With Tama, he can get a singles run, but he's just better off doing tag stuff. So I get the focus of why he's going to be the the singles guy at the moment, but just like Jay New said, I'm going to need to see a little bit more, a lot of bit more actually.
a lot of it more. But let's move on to the fourth match on this card for the NJPW Television Championship Tournament semifinals, the first of two back-to-back here, as it was Ren Narita coming off the heels of the highly acclaimed matchup with Tomohiro Ishii and a victory over Toru Yano versus Sanada coming off of victories versus Taishi and Kenta. This one was kind of the technical battle that we thought it was going to be. Both guys kind of always jockeying for position, looking for submission, especially Sanada kept going for the skull end time after time. He did a nice little variation of the Paradise Lock, putting him into the ropes, tying him up in the ropes where it looked a lot more realistic than it usually does for me. So I did like that part. And then I did like the first Paradise Lock that he tried without the ropes. Narita basically popped out of it and hit a low drop kick on him. So I like those little moments where they kind of went back and forth with that type of thing. Narita went for a choke of his own, basically his mini Shibata style, going for the choke and then looking for his finisher right after. We got the 14-minute call and both guys started trading off strikes. We get Narita. He digs down deep. He hits a sweet bridging T-bone suplex for a near fall. They trade Insiguri's, and then Sonata runs at Narita and gets right into the Narita special for the bridging win. Ren is really good. He's really good for a guy that just graduated from being a young lion, getting the victory here. These guys had a great technical wrestling battle. I gave it 3 3/4 stars. I really enjoyed this one, and I've really just overall been enjoying Ren Narita from his time the times that I've seen him in New Japan Strong to his couple of matches here in the television tournament. He's looked really good. Sonata was his usual good stuff. What did you think, Jane? Newt? What did you think, Ness?
Yeah, I gave it 3 3/4 stars as well. At this point of the show, this was my favorite match. It was just different from the rest of the show. Like there was that whole technical aspect, and these guys were just going at it from like the start of the bell, which is really good. This not again. LIJ Mark here. I wanted Sonata to win when I even seen the match. I wanted him to go to the distance in the whole TV title tournament. I'm not opposed to Ren Narita getting the victory because he looked damn good. I got to see these other matches that I missed in the tournament because it looked like I was watching Shibata at one point. You know, like I get the whole, you know, like the young lion get up and things of that nature. And you know, that, you know, not in a disrespectful way that he's not Shibata, he's Ren Narita, but he was out there doing the damn thing. And I'm like, wow, this isn't the same guy that I seen like all this time ago, you know, as a young lion. He's coming into his own. And I'm like, you know what? I can't even be mad at this win. You look damn good. So I'm hopping on the Ren Narita train. I hope he does go all the way and gets the TV title because he looks damn good doing it.
Yeah, they did make the announcement before this match that the finals was going to be at Wrestle Kingdom in January at the Tokyo Dome. So, you know, just coming back, he's got a big match at the Tokyo Dome. What did you think about Ren Narita's performance, J News, and the match overall?
New Japan Pro Wrestling believes in Ren Narita. That's all we need to know. That's what this match was about. He got the Sonata rub. You heard me. He got the Sonata rub. So anyways, outside of that, I thought that the match was incredible, bro. For a TV title match for 15 minutes, for what they did, that exchange for the first 10, and then that last 4 minutes that whole whirlwind, I was like, man, perfection. It was the exact thing that I thought while watching the match last night was this is the most precise match I've watched in a very, very long time. Precision striking, precision movements. There was nothing was like botched. Nothing was done like out of oh, let's just call it in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that they rehearsed anything, but at the end of the day, it was like, yo, this is a tight ass wrestling match. So props to Sonata and Ren Narita on that. This is the Ren Narita train. This is the Ren Narita belt. This New Japan World TV Championship is Ren Narita's to win. He'll get the Zack Sabre Jr. rub. Sorry for the spoiler, but he'll get that rub at Wrestle Kingdom at the end of the day. But for me, I gave this match 4 3/4 stars as well. These
wait, we gave it 3 3/4 stars.
Oh, sorry,
you said 4.
Right. 3 3/4 stars. My bad. 3 3/4 stars. 3.75. As those numbers guys like to say. But at the end of the day, that's how it went down for me. Sonata, I don't see him or the LIJ tag team in the World Tag League going too far. But you know, everybody's got to have their place and spot somewhere.
I think they're one of the favorites to win it because of the name value and because of the fact that Naito is a big enough star. He needs something major, a title or at least a feud to kind of go into Wrestle Kingdom. And otherwise, all they're going to use World Tag League is to set up Naito's match at Wrestle Kingdom. But I think they're one of the teams that is going to give me the best matches out of the lineup that we're going to talk about for World Tag League. But Sonata, basically, Narita is the star on the rise that Sonata was back in like 2016, 2017 before he plateaued. It's over. It's time to give it up, J News. I'm telling you, wave the white flag, pull the plug.
No.
It is all done.
Absolutely not.
He is this generation's Hiroki Goto.
Whoa,
man.
Whoa.
Oh
Whoa,
man.
whoa, wait a minute.
Oh, man.
Stop the presses. First of all, if you're gonna put him in the Goto chain, he has to win a G1 and he's got to be IWGP.
Oh, he's not even that good. Oh, damn.
Oh man.
Damn, you're not even good enough to be Goto.
I still have hope for the star pupil of Keiji Muto. I still have hope for this young man to make it to the top of the New Japan ranks at some time or do something of value in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
But you gotta understand, like when people don't come up in the New Japan system or don't come over earlier enough, or after they kind of establish their name somewhere else and they come to New Japan, it's very rare New Japan pushes those type of guys. They are usually the bridesmaid and never the bride, like Tomohiro Ishii. They did it one time with Kota Ibushi, and that went well.
Well, I mean, listen, that's a whole, mess on its own. But I would say Sonata's not that old yet. He's in his wrestling prime. He's not that old yet.
He's almost 40.
No, he's not. He's 35.
I mean, that's nearly 40. You might as well be 40, nigga.
How many of our wrestling favorites hit their primes in their 40s? A lot of them.
That's true. That is true.
At the end of the day, we'll keep that there. But I'll say this.
Nah, he's 34. He's 34.
Yeah, 34.
He's the same age as me. That's old, nigga.
Hey, I'm 38. You can't be saying that's old. I'm out here trying to feel as good as I can on a daily basis and stuff like that.
More power to you.
But the kids, they bog you down. You too.
Exactly.
I know how it works.
Yeah.
But
it's tough out here in these streets.
But I'll say this: the return of the Young Lions the coming up of the Young Lions and returns to New Japan proper, guys like Ren Narita here. We'll talk about I hate this. I'll still call him a shooter because this other freaking nickname they gave him.
We'll get into that, but let's get into the rest of the show here. We do have a comment from Brett who says Ren Narita is getting the biggest push right now. Happy for him. Yes, we all are. We see the talent, and it's good to see that New Japan is getting behind him to start off, his return back to New Japan proper here. Let's get into the other semifinal in the NJPW World Television Championship Tournament, as you had Zack Sabre Jr. versus Evil. Now, first, let's talk about these pre-match promos, which Zack Sabre Jr. cut the promo of the year for New Japan through someone else. It was great. With using Fujita to call everyone dickheads and great stuff. And pumpkinhead wankers. Great stuff. Fujita, those are probably the first English words that Fujita has learned. So that was great stuff, first of all. Then we had the pre-match, the free match comedy with the fake Zack Sabre Jr. Fujita being jumped by Evil and Dick Togo. They bring him down. They're beating him up, and then the Zack Sabre Jr. music hits, and then we have another disguised Zack Sabre Jr. That is Oya. Was that Oya?
It's Ryohei Oya.
That's revealed. The reveal here. Some good comedy to start off, and then Zack Sabre Jr. attacks Evil in the ring from behind. He goes for a choke. Dick Togo gets involved. The Young Lions kind of isolate Dick Togo on the outside at one point. This was early on in the match where you had Dick Togo, Evil, and basically Zack Sabre Jr. getting revenge for the ring announcer who always gets his table pushed onto him by Evil. It got pushed onto Evil in this matchup, and then back into the ring. We got the finish very quick. Cobra twist, 1, 2, 3. Zack Sabre Jr. gets the victory. This was a fun comedy matchup. It was Zack Sabre Jr. using his smarts to overwhelm the House of Torture nonsense. And I love the relationship between Zack Sabre Jr. and the Young Lions, and them being basically the pawns when he's against Evil. It's great stuff. I enjoyed this match way too much. This is probably one of the better comedy matches I've seen in a while. I give it 3 stars. What did you think, J News?
I'll say this. CSJ is probably one of the better comedy wrestlers in professional wrestling today. His his level of creativity as to how this works out is top notch. The only thing I'm a little bit, I can't say leery of, because it was just they've been doing this now a couple of times with the young lions. I wonder if these young lions are going to be comedy wrestlers in their immediate futures. You don't necessarily know. Koze Fujita, Ryohei Oi. Well, I guess the main two, because the other guy continues to be hurt. I forget, Nakajima. He continues to be hurt from time to time, so he never really does much. But yeah, man, I thought that this match was going to be quick. ZSJ was bound for the win. Evil wasn't going to do much in this tournament at all. We'll see if he is able to get some measure of revenge during the World Tag League. We shall see how that pans out. But yeah,
well, I don't think Dangerous Tekkers are in World Tag League.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah. He's right.
Yeah, I don't think. I remember going through it, and I was like, "Oh, that's strange that they're not in this." But hey, here we are. But it makes sense because Zack Sabre Jr. with his victory, he will now face Ren Narita at Wrestle Kingdom in the NJPW World Television Championship Finals. What did you think about this semifinals between ZSJ and Evil, Ness?
Yeah, it was. I gave it 2 3/4 stars. It was entertaining, far as the comedy spots and everything that was going on surrounding the fake Zack Sabre Juniors. But again, it was like another quick match, and honestly, I'm not upset about it. I don't need Evil winning anything, so hey, I'm all for it. Keep it up, Zack Sabre Jr.
Hey, it was longer than the G1 match that went under a minute. So we're improving. We're improving, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about improvement. It's all about progression. And we got Frantic World who says Ren Narita versus Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be fired. Yeah, another great match that should deliver at Wrestle Kingdom. The lineup so far with the 3 title matches that they have are definitely top notch and definitely going to deliver come January 4th in the Tokyo Dome, which they did note they've sold more tickets for the Tokyo Dome. The most tickets they sold in the last 3 years, basically, since the pandemic started. So that's a good thing. So progression with New Japan. Hopefully the fans can cheer at Wrestle Kingdom. I would hope. We do have a super chat donation here from Vala B. I was worried, Vala B. I thought you weren't here. We were talking about New Japan. You always like when we talk about New Japan. He says, "My dogs, these young lions gonna die when Archer and Suzuki turn up for World Tag League. ZSJ outmind Tekkers, Evil again." Great stuff. Yes, I agree. The young lions, these poor guys are gonna get bumped and bruised during this whole World Tag League. Archer and Suzuki being a team.
I feel for him, man. I feel for him. But yeah, did he say my dogs? My dogs.
My dogs.
My dogs.
My dog. My dog. He said this yesterday when we were reviewing Crown Jewel. He was like, he will only refer to everyone as my dogs. And he even doubled down here saying keeping the my dog gimmick till the Zayn bloodline storyline ends. So he has an expiration date for it. So at least there's that. Thank you, Valabi. We appreciate the love and the super chat donation. Let's get into where I thought that the television championship semifinal matches were good, but I felt like the show kind of picked up as far as importance towards where we're going for Wrestle Kingdom, and as far as the quality with this next match, where you had basically, can they go exist tag team partners as the 4 men in the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship 4-way at Wrestle Kingdom were in a picked at random tag team partner match, as it was El Desperado teaming with Master Wato to verse Hiromu Takahashi and the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Taiji Ishimori. I loved Hiromu early on, getting in Ishimori's head, basically waiting for him at the entranceway, and then saying that their team name is Team True Pals. Hiromu owns. He's great. I love him. We also had Master Wato and El Desperado early on would not get along. They were already going at it very early on. Things escalated as everybody was getting involved. We got a lot of 4-way action throughout this, giving us a nice preview for Wrestle Kingdom. And you would think that with the Can They Coexist kind of tag team match, we've seen it so many times, but these are 3 out of the 4 are the best 3 junior heavyweights in the division. And then you have Master Wato, who's ever improving. I thought that they made it in a way that it was unique and also got over all their characters, because Taiji Ishimori had no problems watching Hiromu Takahashi take all the punishment ahead of the championship matchup. He even avoided tagging him at certain points. Hiromu didn't care. He was putting his body on the line and going crazy on both Master Wato and El Desperado. And then towards the end, even on Ishimori, you had El Desperado kind of just being this cocky junior goat that he's kind of been shaping up to be over the last 2 years, and just disrespecting Master Wato at every turn. Master Wato kind of bringing it back, trying to prove himself, smacking El Desperado at one point, and then the referee started accepting smacks and chops as tags into the match. It was very fun, a fun matchup here. And then in the end, things broke down with all 4 guys getting into the ring, and it was Master Wato who pulled off the upset, rolling up Hiromu Takahashi as he went for the time bomb and getting the win on him. Master Wato getting his first pinfall victory over Hiromu Takahashi. So despite him being the only person in the match at Wrestle Kingdom that has not been the IWGP junior heavyweight champion, he scored victories over all 3 men this year. El Desperado at Wrestle Kingdom, here against Hiromu Takahashi, against Taiji Ishimori at Decoration of Power. But speaking of Ishimori, after the match, he laid out all 3 of his challengers standing tall ahead of Wrestle Kingdom. So I liked all of this. This was a nice storyline building match. You know, New Japan doesn't have a lot of the big angles, the big promos that, you know, your AEWs, your WWEs do. A lot of their storytelling and build up for matches happen in matches itself. And honestly, this one match, I'm good until Wrestle Kingdom. You gave me everything I needed to know about all 4 guys. You built up Master Wato going into the match. I think this accomplished a lot. I really liked it. I gave it 3 3/4 stars. Ness, what did you think?
I give this match 3.5. Just based on everything you pretty much just said, the fact that the 3 out of the 4 in here already go to junior heavyweights. And then I really like the fact that Master Wato, who's been improving, was put in a position to like pin one of the goats of the junior heavyweight division in Hiromu Takahashi. So that pretty much raises his stock going into Wrestle Kingdom in January. The match is so fast paced, exactly what I expected. That Taiji Ishimori, man, he just had to ruin it for the team. I was like, yeah, you know what? These guys are going to win. You know, they're not the best of friends, or not friends at all. And you know what? Maybe they can work. Maybe they can coexist. No, the hell they can't. It came down to it, and I expect that out of them. Being the Bullet Club, being the trying to reign their dominance at the top heels of the company, he had to go out of the way and do that. So it still was fun, and honestly, the way that the finish came about, I feel like it still protects Hiromu Takahashi for having his tag team partner, who he already doesn't like, do some dastardly shit to him, and it does raise the stock of Master Wato. So it was a lot of things that hit in this match for me that made a lot of sense, and I liked where they went with it. And just like you, SP3, I think right now they did a good job of putting everybody out there, and you know who they are, what they do. We don't have to overindulge in this until Wrestle Kingdom. Now we don't have to, just the story is already perpetuating for itself. You don't have to do anything else to oversaturate it.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely agree with that. J News, what did you think?
So, I understood what this match was supposed to be, right? Story progression, building Master Wato, as you guys both put it, and stuff like that. I just thought that during, at the smack dab middle of this match, it just turned into a shitstorm for me, just because too much was going on. And when Wato and Desperado have been going at it since the press conference, like Wallaby said, or in case somebody said it, I think Brent M, said it before. They've been going at it since the press conference. For all intents and purposes, this is where my mind went. My point of view has been kind of swayed, right? Where I feel like Desperado, yeah, he's like the bully in the block to Master Wato. But at the same time, Master Wato is on his way to the Grand Master. Does Master Wato take a turn on his way to the Grand Master? You know what I'm saying?
Why do you keep saying saying this. They don't even say this as a part of his character anymore.
Listen. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, he showed a fiery, mean streak in this match that I had not seen in Master Wato before. So does Master Wato finally heal to the other side for a little bit? Just a tag.
Maybe that's the real way to the Grandmaster.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
He's in the fork of the road. And he has to go down the road of being a heel to get to the Grandmaster.
For all intents and purposes, this is going to be a four-way match at Wrestle Kingdom. Master Wato pinned Ishimori. He pinned Hiromu. He's beaten Desperado earlier this year. Or pinned Desperado this year, should I say. So, with all that being said, does Master Wato win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom? Absolutely not. But what happens is that I feel something. I'm not predicting the heel turn, but I'm predicting something significant will happen to Master Wato at Wrestle Kingdom. That's all I'm saying. From a match standpoint, I gave it 3 stars. Like I said, during the middle of the match, I thought it just went batshit crazy. It was just too much interaction with the non-partners and then the partners, and it turned into a 4-way during the match. Is what it did, because they started going they all started going at each other, and whatnot. So, that's just the way that's gonna be. That's damn right. I do want him to join the dark side because
I don't know any babyface grandmasters.
It's always
true.
He's not always the good guy. So,
Valabi says he's grown. He's got that dog in him now.
Right.
No, he don't. Stop it. And I wouldn't say shitstorm. I say what Brent says. It was chaotic. It was chaotic in the right way for me.
Shitstorm, chaotic, it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing, dog.
Shitstorm means that you couldn't follow along with it. And I could. My dog. Yeet. Next, we had a preview of the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match for Wrestle Kingdom, as it was Kazuchika Okada teaming up with Tama Tonga versus the Bullet Club's Switchblade Jay White, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, and Kenta. We got some Okada and White in this matchup early on, these two going at it. And then throughout this matchup, got some Kenta going at it with Tama Tonga, as well as Tama Tonga and Jay White. Got some Kenta doing the Okada Rainmaker pose at one point. In the end, though, Tama Tonga was the legal man, and Kenta, he hit the Supreme Flow for a near fall, and then Jay White got involved. Jay White was taken out by the drop kick by Okada. It came down to Kenta traded strikes with Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga going for the gun stun, but Kenta blocked that. He goes for the go to sleep, but Tama Tonga reverses that into the gun stun for the victory here to give Okada and Tama Tonga the win. After the match, Switchblade Jay White still talking his shit despite losing to Kazuchika Okada ahead of Wrestle Kingdom, telling him that this is a tag team match, 1-on-1. We are 4-1 come Wrestle Kingdom. So he said, come Wrestle Kingdom, it'll be 5-1. But Okada and Tama Tonga get the victory here. I gave this one 3 stars. This was fine for what it was, but I will say at this point, 2 months ahead of Wrestle Kingdom, Okada and Jay White need something. They need a hook or something to make it feel like a proper Tokyo Dome main event. Because at this point, for me, it doesn't feel like J News.
I don't think that's happening. The hook you're looking for is what is to your point. I don't think that's happening. There's never been that much of a hook to most Okada matches when it comes to Wrestle Kingdom, at least in my opinion. So with this, I think they're still gonna, we'll still have the cursory road shows on the way to Wrestle Kingdom and stuff like that. They'll probably have other tag matches. Maybe something happens in the interim there, but I don't know. I don't see how that.
A lot of people said that about like Omega and Okada heading into their first match, heading into Tokyo Dome. It needed a hook, and then on one of the Road 2 shows, Omega does the one ring angel off the apron into the table, and then the table becomes a focal point of the match. So they could do something that can play a big point in the next 2 months ahead of Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, like I said, maybe something happens during the interim or whatever. But the majority of the time, I don't see it just because I don't know. They treat Okada in such a way where it's like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, what are they really going to do to Okada in the meantime? You know what I'm saying? So That's always going to be a surprise. So, like you said, more than likely that'll probably happen. The guys who should be in the never open weight division fighting for that championship are in this match: Kenta and Tama Tonga.
I agree.
So I want to see that happen 1-on-1 for the never open weight title. Sorry, Hikuleo, but that's what I want to see.
Hopefully, Machine Gun can come for like World Tag League Finals and defend against Hikuleo there, and then you get. I always thought that Hikuleo was just a challenger for the month to preview Tama Tonga getting the real shot at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. But to Brent M's point, the preview matches don't really do anything for him. They're too predictable. I've been saying this since the freaking pandemic. They got it right during the pandemic. They didn't need to go back to this crap with all the damn tag matches. All right. But anyways, as we sit here, Ness, sir, your thoughts on what occurred in this match? What did you think? How did you feel watching this tag team match?
Well, actually, I want to piggyback on what you guys were just talking about, as far as, the storylines going into Wrestle Kingdom surrounding Jay White, excuse me, and Okada. I feel as though, like, when Okada has the title and whoever's going into Wrestle Kingdom, that build up for that person makes the storyline better or seem more important because it's Okada. It's like that's the top of the top in New Japan and as far as pro wrestling in general. So like when he's on the opposite end, it's just like, oh, okay, it's Okada. like we know what's going to happen. Yeah. He's either 95% winning or he's going to lose. That one random percent of him losing or whatever. But it's also to Jay White, the guy who already has his number. So I kind of see where SP3 was coming from. Like, I need a hook because it's like, we have the story here, and it's just like we got a guy that's already beaten him or the guy that's already always winning. So which way can we go for interest? So I totally agree with that. The match itself, I gave it a 3. I gave it 3 stars. It was fun for what it was. I really like the fact that commentary was playing on the fact that Tama Tonga was the one that brought in Kenta to join Bullet Club, and then they were talking about that whole scenario. And then after the match, Jay White is saying, when Tama Tonga's theme song is playing, he's like, "Oh, I'm realer than Gorilla."
Yeah. that had me cracking up. He's like, "I'm realer than Gorillas." What?
Yeah,
what?
that was great. So yeah, this is very entertaining. Again, I want to see if they play it or where they go with the whole storyline of Okada and Jay White into Wrestle Kingdom as well.
Yeah, I just need like some type of like angle because I thought that the direction they were going with was once again kind of hammering it home, even in tag matches, that Jay White is better than Okada. Because despite Okada's team winning at night before Rumble on 44th Street, Jay White eliminated him from that match. And then the next night at Rumble on 44th Street, Jay White and Juice Robinson beat him and Eddie Kingston. So if Jay White and Kenta had won here, I would have not said that the match really needed a hook, because the hook and the story going in is now Jay White is washing him in all types of matches. Like it's just Jay White is the overpowering monster, the one last monster left for Okada to overcome in his career, basically. But in winning this match, you had to I guess they're putting over Tama Tonga for hopefully him probably being involved in some type of never open weight situation since he's not in World Tag League. But I would have liked it more if Jay White and the Bullet Club had won this one.
So I'll say this, and yet again, this is my biased ass opinion. I would feel like for all right, rewind. For all intents and purposes, I feel that even if Jay White and God damn it, whoever his tag team partner in this was,
Kenta,
yes, sorry, Kenta. If they would have won, the whole Jay White having Okada's number thing, for whatever reason, for me, hasn't been doing it or whatever. He's had his number for a couple of years now, so it's like, give me another wrinkle in this whole story. To your point. Right, when you said earlier, like, give me a hook, give me another wrinkle, because no doubt, Jay White can beat Okada, but what else? At the end of the day, and I was like, okay, so he can beat him. So what? right? We had drunk Okada for a year and whatnot. He was losing everywhere with his red hair and all that mishmashy dress and all that crap he had going on. He was losing everywhere. So what? At the end of the day, so Jay White got his number. Cool. What else? What else? Give me something else to sink my teeth into, and I'll be a little bit more interested. Jay White being the one who has his number isn't enough for me. I'm only speaking for myself in that regard. So hopefully something goes down. To your point as well with Tama Tonga not being in World Tag League, I think you brought this up when we spoke about this the other day, that it would have been cool if we would have seen Tama Tonga and Hikuleo in the World Tag League together, new version of GOD, maybe. But they didn't do that. So now we're kind of left up in the air with that. Alan is not a big fan of Okada, obviously.
No. He wants Jay White to win at Wrestle Kingdom. We also got Frantic World who says Tama Tonga babyface is weird, and I still want that Kenta versus Punk match. I'm not wanting that match. And two, I don't think Tama Tonga is weird as a babyface. He's actually better in the ring. He tries more as a babyface. He comes off so much more charismatic as a babyface to me than he did as a heel, and he seems like a better worker as a babyface than he was as a heel.
I think people just miss him cursing up a storm and doing his tirades up and down the rampways and stuff like that. People miss that. That's classic GOD. So.
This is true. Classic GOD, the former IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Speaking of which, the titles were up for grabs in the semi-main event as FTR made their first appearance in New Japan proper, in Japan, defending the IWGP Tag Team Championships against former champions United Empire's own Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb. This was FTR's second defense of the titles after defeating Aussie Open at Royal Quest 2 last month. And we got another ring introductions from Gideon Gray, who did try to get the one fall over in Japan, and it didn't work. It didn't work at all. But Cash Wheeler, I thought, was really good in this one, showing off his power and kind of his babyface offense. But the FTR and Dax Harwood, especially pulling out like these nice little tag team moves like the Steiner Bulldog. But really what they really did, FTR, is made Jeff Cobb look like the Imperial unit, the big monster that he always presents himself. And I thought that Great O'Khan was presented probably the best he has done in one of these tag team matches. He felt like a monster. He felt like a bruiser going head to head with Dax Harwood in like strike exchanges with each other. Like I said earlier, Cash Wheeler hitting the splash after the powerplex from Dax on Great O'Khan. They were able to remove Jeff Cobb from the equation. Great O'Khan goes for the eliminator on Cash, but he gets a blind tag into Dax. They drop down and then eventually get in position for the big rig to successfully defend the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. FTR making their first successful defense in Japan. After the match, in their press conference interview backstage, Aussie Open got into their face saying that they will win World Tag League and get another shot at the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. But FTR looked good here, but I thought the match was just good. I expect a little bit more from FTR, and I really felt the clap crowd hurt them a lot because FTR's matches really rely on that crowd heat, that crowd reaction, and getting that emotional response from the fans, and you're just not going to get that with the clap crowd. So I gave the match 3.25 stars, but it would have been better in front of like an American crowd that can actually react. Ness, what did you think?
I gave the match 3.75 stars. I enjoyed it for what it was. To piggyback off what you said, you're not going to get a lot of that. Well, Jeff Cobb, yeah. Great O'Khan, no. So you're not going to get the quality that you should have out of that match with Great O'Khan, in my opinion. But they made do with what they had. Still a good match. A lot of, hard striking. That New Japan style that, we watch for, a lot of was going on, and FTR stepped up to the plate. They showed that they belong in New Japan as the rightful tag team champions. And I just want to see who goes now, who's up next after World Tag League. Like, I'm ready to see them at Wrestle Kingdom. to defend those titles and you know, just get another great match out of them. I'm glad they got the opportunity to do this. One of the best tag teams in the world right now.
Ness, you're getting called out in the chat. Bro says it's pronounced Goat Okan. Don't disrespect Great Okan like that, Ness. He is such an improved.
I will say this. He's a GOAT outside of the ring. I've seen what he does outside of the ring.
Yeah.
I'll give him all the props in the world for that. I will say that.
Hey, man, at the end of the day, I think that Yujiro Takahashi has the wrong gimmick, and the Great Okan has the wrong gimmick. They should switch gimmicks. But anyways, to the match here, they are 7-star FTR for a reason. I gave this match 3.75 stars as well. FTR made those members of the United Empire look as good as they've ever looked in any tag team match. That is what they do. That is what a great tag team does. That is what great wrestlers do. And FTR, both individually and as a tag team, are that. Great professional wrestlers, great champions. And in my book, the greatest tag team of the decade, if not all time, in this point in my life. But those dudes, whatever comes to them next, I'm sure they'll make it great. I think did Jeff Cobb get legit injured during the match? Was that
apparently he got legit injured because Brett says pretty good match. Cobb's injury was unfortunate, and then earlier he mentioned one interesting takeaway was Hanare saw Okan in a backstage interviews, and I guess Hanare and Khan are teaming up in tag league. Cobb was injured during this show, so apparently Jeff Cobb is out, and now the United Empire will be represented by Great Okan and Aaron Hanare in World Tag League.
Interesting. All right, man. You know, hopefully Jeff Cobb gets better soon. You know, I'm a big fan of the Imperial unit, so hopefully the man gets well soon and he's able to return sometime in 2023 at this point, because, you know, 2022 is almost over. So with that being said, Gentrified Hanare and Okan, they ain't going far in the World Tag League. We know that for a fact.
They'll give us a couple of good matches. Gentrified Hanare and the great Okan Master. You got that team's gonna be in the World Tag League. You also got Bishamon, the former IWGP heavyweight tag team champions, Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. You got House of Torture, Evil, and Yujiro Takahashi. You got Los Ingonables de Japón, Tetsuya Naito and Sonata, former champions as well. You got Beat Bop tag team, which is Toru Yano and Hiroshi Tanahashi. You also got Aussie Open, Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. Suzuki Gun will be represented by Lance Archer and Minoru Suzuki. Bullet Club will be represented by Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens. And TMDK, Shane Hayes and Mikey Nichols will be making their proper NJPW Japanese proper debut in the World Tag League.
Did we mention Evil and Yujiro Takahashi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they're there. And also Alex Coughlin and Gabriel Kidd getting a shot here in the World Tag League as well. So I predict that sometime during the tournament they will play spoiler to one of these tag teams and have one of these guys go down in some essence of points or whatever the case is. So I will predict that in the way. But like I said before, I think this is Aussie Open's tournament to win at the end of the day. They will, I think, I guess I'll call it now. I think it's going to be Aussie Open versus Tetsuya Naito and Sonata.
That's what I got for the finals as well. This is one block, so everybody faces each other, and then you have the best 2 point getters facing in the finals, and I think that's going to be LIJ versus Aussie Open.
Yeah. I'm on that train as well. It's cool to see Mikey Nichols and Shane Hayes back, TMDK, the Mighty Don't Kneel, the proper tag team. Hopefully, we'll get to see some good stuff from them. They are the other Australian tag team in the tournament this year.
The other one. I think that's going to be a great matchup too. Aussie Open versus TMDK.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
That's going to be awesome. Vala B says Bebop is a reference to a manga / anime of the same name, Bebop High School. And he also mentions about the matchup between FTR and United Empire should have stayed longer, but I guess it's okay. They talking about FTR, they miss World Tag League as champs rather than whatever Bucks used to do and just insert themselves randomly into Wrestle Kingdom title matches. Those are some of the best openers in Wrestle Kingdom history. Don't be disrespectful, Valavi. They only did that once where they weren't in World Tag League and then just showed up and was like, we're going to make this a 3-way. That's what we're going to do. We don't care. We don't care that we weren't here the whole time. That was the last year they were with New Japan in 2019.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, I think that the way this tag team division is going to work out, short term at least, it seems tight enough. Which was something that I was worried about earlier in the year. Like, where's the tag team division going to go from here? Before FTR won the championships, and I was wondering how they were going to really structure the World Tag League. Now, obviously, seeing the table here, it seems solid. It seems good. Do I wish other teams were a part of the World Tag League? Sure, but we can't always get what we want as per the wise words of Ness earlier on in the show. So we will see as to what transpires during the World Tag League.
That Ness is a wise man. That Ness is a wise man. Keep telling him. But yes, we only got one more match to get into. I do want to highlight one more comment here. We got Brett who says, does Aussie Open win World Tag League and rematch FTR at Wrestle Kingdom? One thing I know New Japan for is whether it's in the G1, whether it's in New Japan Cup, whether it's on a B show or a show outside of Japan, what they do a lot of times is rehearse or try out a Wrestle Kingdom match. And I think because of the success of Aussie Open versus FTR, and then the fact that it took them more than a week, even though they said it was going to be a week, took them more than a week to put that up on New Japan World. So there's still people out there that hasn't seen this classic tag team match that I think that it just makes sense for Aussie Open to win World Tag League and to run it back at Wrestle Kingdom. And I think they're going to deliver another classic match, and FTR will start off 2023 the same way they are finishing out 2022 with another bang.
So, like this guy here, I'm a New Japan World guy, and I still haven't watched that match because I forgot that they did the whole show it was in October. It was October
1st or October 2nd. I think those were the dates for Royal Quest. And then they said October 9th it would be on NJPW World, and then it wasn't on the NJPW World until maybe October 12th, October 13th, the following weekend. It was up.
Yeah, I missed the whole lot on that one.
Thankfully, I found out and I went on my way to watch it. It's I would say it's in the top 3, top 5 best tag team matches of 2022. So if you haven't already, I would suggest watching that.
So here's a quick question: do all top 3 and top 5 of your tag team matches of 2022 involve FTR?
Correct.
All right.
I would say off the top of my head, the top 4 of the 5 are FTR. The only match that doesn't include FTR that's in my top 5 is Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros from Ontario, California. I think that was June 3rd, Rampage. Don't tell me how I know this. I keep a list of the 5-star and close to 5-star matches that I ranked this year. Got to do it for the list at the end of the year. That's how it helps, ladies and gentlemen. Write down the matches that you consider great. And then at the end of the year, it makes it much easier. I can't wait. But we got a super chat donation here, guy, from Alan Weinstein, ALW. Thank you so much, ALW, for that generous super chat donation. We appreciate it. He says, I just got to see Suzuki versus Lawler at Defy in Seattle in a very small venue. It was bucket list. Seeing Suzuki's slaps on TV don't do them justice in person. They are no fucking joke. 100% agree with everything you say. Me and Jay News got to be front row for him versus Tracy Williams night before Rumble on 44th Street. And yeah, those slaps, you especially when he tells you to shh and he's loading up, just the way he does it, his timing of it is just so precise. That's another match and another show that I want to go out my way to see, if not the show, just that one match, because I've been hearing great things about that match. So thank you for bringing it up, ALW.
Quick side story, Alan, on this, on what you just said about Suzuki and the slaps or his hits. When we were at the whole Rumble at 44th Street the night before, when he was facing Tracy Williams, I kept on telling our boy JJ, he was like, "Yo, the first couple of hits, they soft," and he was like, "Why don't you take them? Why don't you go in the ring and take them?" I was like, "Dog, it's coming." Then he hit him with that one elbow to the freaking. I was like, "Son, that's why. This is why I was saying that was soft." Yo, son, Suzuki at his age still doing what he does is amazing. Alan, props to you for even being able to watch that match at the Fi. So yeah, there you go.
Absolutely. Brett says he was at the Ontario show which had the Bucks and Lucha Bros. Best Rampage match of the year right there. That was tremendous. Frantic World says I need Shibata versus Bryan Danielson at Wrestle Kingdom. You won't get that because Bryan Danielson will be on Dynamite on January 4th, since it will be in Seattle for the first time, and that's his home state. So yeah, he's gonna be on Dynamite. You gotta wait till maybe Forbidden Door or a random episode of Rampage, like they did Shibata and Orange Cassidy.
Here's a real question though. Would Shibata do that Dynamite show?
That'd be a nice little trade. You already got mini Shibata on Wrestle Kingdom. You don't need the real Shibata making him look bad. So why not do Shibata and Danielson in Seattle?
Hey man, that's all I'm saying.
I'll be down for it. It would be a nice little story. Two guys that people thought would never wrestle going at it in one of the guys' home states. That's great stuff right there.
On the day of Wrestle Kingdom for a whole day.
So, that too. That's a nice little caveat to it as well. But we got one more match to get into, guys. So last call here for super chat donations or any questions, any comments. We will be giving you our match of the night, MVP, LVP, thumbs up, thumbs down for the show, after we are done reviewing the main event of Battle Autumn, the whole tour, the whole shebang here. Will Ospreay defending the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship against Tetsuya Naito, a rematch from the G1 Climax 32 semifinals. Naito earned this opportunity by defeating Zack Sabre Jr. at Royal Quest 2, and this has been about basically Will Ospreay saying that he is making the U.S. title what Naito wanted to make the Intercontinental Championship, but made it into nothing. And now it doesn't even exist. So this is all about Will Ospreay kind of proving that he's the star that basically New Japan thought Naito was going to be. And we got a great matchup here. Just everything you would expect from these two guys, just going at it nonstop, like just fast paced. Just the pacing of this matchup was ridiculous. You had the character work early on with the little pose down between the two men. Then you had Naito attacking the neck of Ospreay, which I thought was a great touch due to his history of neck issues. Ospreay trying to hit his big moves constantly, using his high flying and his speed and agility to keep Naito on his back foot. He tried to get into Naito's head, but that never works with anybody going against Naito. It's very hard to get in his head. And Naito really controlled the middle portion of this by just going after the neck continuously. Anytime Ospreay would go for little flurries, his neck would bother him. It would bring like chills down his arms. Ospreay did an excellent job of selling the neck issues. What wasn't excellent was the execution of the Os cutters in this match, because the first time he does it on the floor, I was like, oh well, that wasn't the Os cutter, but it was effective because the thud was ridiculous. Same with the thud on the neck breaker when Naito gave him the neck breaker on the floor. That had a sick thud, and this had a sick thud on the Os cutter. Then he did it in the ring, and it was the same way. I don't know why Naito can't take Os cutters, but here we are. Just continuous assault onto the neck. At one point, Naito gets a great goes for a poison Rana, an avalanche poison Rana off the top rope, and Ospreay lands on his feet perfectly. That's the best I've seen him land on his feet from that spot. Naito got a close near fall on a Destino. He reversed the Destino into a Stormbreaker at one point. Ospreay hits the hidden blade to the front of the head, then to the back of the head. He gets a close near fall, but in the end, Will Ospreay finishes the thing, hits the Stormbreaker, gets the 1-2-3 clean in just under 30 minutes. This was an absolute barn burner. One of the best matches from New Japan Pro Wrestling all year. Will Ospreay gets on the mic after the match and he just says, "How good am I?" And it's true. Like, this guy is just amazing. He's the best in-ring worker in the world today. Another classic bout for the IWGP United States Championship. Another big, great house for New Japan. Ospreay just feels like he's one of the biggest stars. If not Okada, it's Ospreay. And he's saying how he's putting the United States Championship on the same level. It feels like it's on the same level as when Nakamura had the Intercontinental title.
Yes.
That's how good Ospreay has been. He gets on the mic. He makes an open challenge. He says that his road to Wrestle Kingdom for Naito is over, but his road will continue, and he'll make a defense of his title at the New Japan Stardom historic crossover event, and he makes the open challenge. No one answers at first. Gideon Green does the rundown for United Empire. Then the lights go out, and we see a video package saying that the Roughneck is coming, and the Roughneck is none other than Shota Umino. Shota Umino returning to Japan, returning to NJPW. Now he is the shooter no more. He is now the Roughneck. He gets into Ospreay's face. He looks like he's about to say something, but then he drops the mic. He strikes Ospreay. He lays out Aussie Open and Gideon Grey, and then lays out Ospreay with the Death Rider and stands tall, holding up the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. And it's been made official. It will be Shota Umino versus Will Ospreay at Historic Crossover on November 20th. What did you guys think about the match with Naito and Ospreay? And then this post-match with the return of Shota Umino. Me, myself, I gave the main event 4 3/4 stars. Just an excellent, tremendous main event. I thought it was just slightly better than the G1 Climax 32 semifinals. I thought that was a fantastic matchup, but this match was just, it had more of a story to it, more character work involved with both men, with Ospreay and Naito, and just another great match in 2022, where this man's had 32 singles matches throughout the world, whether it be in Rev Pro, whether it be for any independent in the US, GCW, Warrior Wrestling, whether it be in New Japan, AEW. Ospreay has delivered, and he delivered here again. Ness, what did you think? Naito, Ospreay first, and then the Shota Umino return.
So I gave the match 4.5 stars, literally from when the bell rung to that final bell after the 3 count. These guys went balls to the wall. It was a fight. It was everything I expected it to be. You know, it was great. It was a great match. I can't really praise it any more than I'm already doing. Knowing the quality of matches that these two put on, I expect nothing less than that. A lot of near falls, and I'm glad to see that Naito got to work a lot of, being dominant in this match. So I had some type of hope, like, oh yeah, maybe he'll win, but I knew in the back of my mind he wasn't. The post match, even that it kind of surprised me. They're changing, the roughneck thing, but I get kind of get it. Going around calling yourself a shooter, that's really not good in today's climate, I guess.
Also true. That is true.
They want to tone it down, but I'm glad they're going to give him this opportunity, because it's like, who else would challenge Will Ospreay at the moment? They could throw anybody out there, but it's nice to see that they're going to use a fresh face and give him that opportunity. Maybe that can lead to someone else popping back up in New Japan, maybe to help his son out, or to avenge his son if he doesn't get the win. But again, this is all things that, speculation, regardless if they're going to happen or not. I'm here for the ride, because not a lot of the times where New Japan does some things and I'm like flat out, no, this is stupid. I don't agree with it. Some things I might not be jumping on board for right at the moment. And as I'm going on for the ride, they start to make more sense and stories start to pan out and things start to fall into place. So I'm here for that.
Yeah, one thing I will say is that I also thought the same thing. I was like, the timing of this, because are they really? Because this felt like kind of like the reintroduction for like Hiromu Takahashi that we saw before, or Jay White as we saw before, where you could see Amino being a top star in the future, or them getting behind him in that way, so it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that he could win at historic crossover to kind of legitimize him and give him an IWGP US title match. But Ospreay's just too good right now that you don't want to take the title. He's making the title in the process of holding it right now with these classic matches, that I think that this is the setup for maybe Jon Moxley versus Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom. But what did you think about the match and Shota Umino's return news?
Match wise, I gave this a match 4 3/4 stars. It's the 4.75 treatment. Will Ospreay, another one of my NJPW faves, tore the house down. Him and the main event player himself, Tetsuya Naito, they tore the house down. It was an excellent match. For that pace, that fever pace that they wrestle at, man, it's something else, man. And like Will said during the match, ain't no one better. Right? And I saw some comments on Instagram yesterday where Swerve told Will Ospreay, "Yeah, you can have that. you can have the speed in the matches. You can have that." So that was funny to see with their interaction there. But it's let's go to the shooter thing for a minute. Let's go to the shooter thing, because I refuse to call him Roughneck. Me, I lovingly call him the top shotter. My main man, Shota Umino. First of all, the man is super lean. I don't know what's been going on. He been in that gym. He's super lean now. He looks like he looks like a star, right?
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, he's gonna be taking that whole show and yo for the ladies type deal.
Well, basically, it feels like New Japan, what they did was they put Ren Narita in a machine and like the Urkel transformation chamber and made him into mini Shibata, and they made Shota Umino into mini Tanahashi.
There you
He
go.
looks like a young
yeah.
Tanahashi.
Yeah,
from the leather, the white leather jacket, to just how charismatic he comes across without even knowing what he's saying. He just comes off with that certain charisma to him.
I'd also say this, because Will Ospreay made a comment. I think it was sometime within the last couple of months about Shota Umino, about a future possibility of them having a Wrestle Kingdom match, right? So for me for them to book this for the historic crossover show is cool. Obviously, Shooter has many more years in front of him. So does Will. So we'll see that match in the future. It would have been cool to see that match at Wrestle Kingdom, but I understand what they're trying to do, right? The build here. I didn't necessarily see it until you brought it up, SP3, about the whole, or should I say Ness, about the whole, well, we might, if he loses to Will Ospreay at the historic crossover, maybe his daddy comes into play. And I was like, oh, really, John? Another U.S. title? I was like, okay. All right, I guess.
It's the title he's synonymous for with New Japan.
I don't. Obviously, that's a fact. That's a fact.
And he's one of the few guys that own, outside of like Okada, off the top of my head, he has a legitimate victory. Well, not so legitimate victory over Ospreay this year.
Right. So they, I mean, for all intents and purposes, I get it. Big names. They want to draw the money. They want to draw the people. Hey, for all intents and purposes, the business is the business. I'll give them that. But I'm definitely looking forward to this match at historic crossover between Will Ospreay and young Shota Umino, trying to see how that breaks down, and if his dad will be the referee in this match, how this will play out. So we'll see how that goes. But I think that what they got lined up going into the historic crossover pay-per-view, going into Wrestle Kingdom, like I said, the main word for me out of this particular show was progress. They progressed a lot of storylines. A lot of guys the two guys got reintroduced to the Japanese crowd, that being Ren Narita, that being Shota Umino. I don't know necessarily who else out of the Young Lions within the last 2 to 3 years gets reintroduced next. Maybe there might be some time. There might be another gap between those guys as well. Don't know, but we'll see how that goes down. Yu Uemura is still doing a lot of work on Strong. Some of the American young lions haven't transferred over as of yet. I know Clark Connors is a fan favorite, but I'm not too sure how he's going to transfer into Japan.
It seems like the American dojo guys are going to do tours.
Yeah.
So, Clark Connors did the Best of Super Juniors tour. Now he's doing the Junior Tag League tour. You got Alex Coughlin. He's coming over for his first tour for World Tag League. So I think they're doing it kind of like that with the American dojo guys.
Yeah. So, yeah. To your point, it was cool to see that Gabriel Kidd returned during the Strong tapings during this week. I'm a big fan of Gabriel Kidd, so maybe something happens for Gabe coming into the new year as well. Vala Beast stated it's a semi-main, so it could be Marty Asami as ref. Usually it's a twofer depending on the amount of matches on the show.
Yeah, because I've seen Red Shoes referee back to
the
back,
last two,
the semi and the main event. Yeah.
So it depends on how many matches there are during the show. So we'll see how that plays out. And
it depends on if they're using Stardom referees as well, because the main event is 2 Stardom stars, as it's going to be Kairi versus Mayu Atatani for the IWGP Women's Championship.
There you go. So yeah, that all depends as well. So everybody's got to get their work in, depending on what part of the show they're what matches during the show and where they fall on the card or whatever cases. I mean, but that does play in story wise, right? If Will wants to really jam it in there, play up the heel tendencies, and just beat the crap out of you. It plays in. It plays in. They can do some real good stuff or whatever. So yeah, bro. Listen, man. He doesn't really think roughneck for the son of a referee is okay. I agree with you. I'm never gonna use that. I'll call him Shota Umino or the Top Shota. I'll keep
it's not New Japan's fault that the owners and Gato, they just listen to old hip hop. So he heard gotta be a roughneck. Gotta be a roughneck. And he was like, what? That's Shota Umino. That's Shota Umino. When I hear that song, gotta be a roughneck. You can see Gato backstage like gotta be this man. And then he see Shota Umino, it was like roughneck. Yeah, that's all the women's want. All the women's want a roughneck.
This man done played out some late career Salt and Pepper out here talking about roughneck. God damn, son. Anyways.
I'm not wrong, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got to say about that.
Listen, at the end of the day, when Jay White came back to Switchblade, I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
It's also true. I did not get it either.
But then
I didn't get Roppongi 3K. The only one that I got was Ticking Time Bomb. I was like, oh, he's Japanese Brian Pillman. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. That made sense.
that made sense to me. But everything else that I've seen with these young lions coming back from excursion, they usually have a gimmick that doesn't make too much sense. But after a while, we just accept it. After a while, like we did with Switchblade, and you'll accept. Gotta be a roughneck. He gonna get the theme song too. He gonna be like LT. He gonna get Salt and Pepper to perform him to the ring at Wrestle Kingdom.
Wrestle Kingdom.
Gotta be a roughneck. Gotta be a roughneck.
So in the video package that played on the Tron, he was on a motorcycle.
Yep.
Do you think they will ever play that up at a show?
Oh, they could. They could.
Wrestle Kingdom seems like the place.
Yeah.
That they should do that at.
There you go.
Rev him up.
Him and the Death Rider out here riding in these streets. But yeah, I think Shota Umino, he's gonna have a good effort. I'm really unsure. I want to go with Ospreay because I feel like Ospreay should be the IWGP US champion going into Wrestle Kingdom. But I wouldn't be surprised if Umino won here because he does have 2 straight losses against Ospreay, most recently at Royal Quest.
I don't know, man. I don't know if they're gonna give him the strap like that off of 2 losses and then just being like, I don't know. Maybe Will doesn't win clean. I don't know. Maybe there's a referee stoppage. Who knows? All we know is that we got Will, we got Shota. If the ref is his daddy, I think referee stoppage might be the way to go.
They did that at Royal Quest.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, see? I didn't watch the damn show. Now you put me on. Freaking crap. All right, never mind then. Forget.
I love it. No, he's mad. He's like, I didn't see it. But it's very interesting that we're in November and we still got big shows left for New Japan with historic crossover. Now you got the World Tag League and Super Junior Tag League. So some good stuff ahead. So me and Jay News will be teaming up, talking about a whole bunch of stuff. So Jay News, let the people know. Well, first, before we get into the final plugs, I almost forgot. Let's put our thumbs in the middle for NJPW Battle Autumn 2022 in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up, thumbs down. 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up all across the board. Out of 10, what did you give the show, Ness?
I give it an 8. Very solid, very good show.
8 out of 10 for Ness. News, what about you?
Solid 7.5.
I agree with Ness. I'm going to go with 8 out of 10. I thought this was a really good show, in the running for the best New Japan show of the year, right up there with any of the other shows that I really enjoyed. G1, Night 13, I believe, was with Ospreay and Shingo. That's one of the best shows I saw this year. So yeah, this was right up there with this. So much fun, so much stuff that I'm interested in moving forward as we head into Wrestle Kingdom in January. And one of the best New Japan main events of the year with Ospreay and Naito. So that brings us to match of the night. Is it a foregone conclusion? Yeah, it's unanimous. Naito and Ospreay, match of the night for sure. MVP for the show. News.
Damn. MVP. Shoot, man. I don't. Ness, I'd have to think about that. What
Ness, MVP.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go with Ren Narita. Like I said, going into this, me personally, I had Sonata or wanting Sonata to win the whole TV tournament, but actually after seeing Ren Narita's performance in his match with Sonata, I'm still blown away. So that's who I got to give him his props, man. I didn't expect that out of him, and I hope he goes on and does to win the TV title.
That makes sense.
I really just overall I like the show for just really pushing forward, either the Gaijin talent, whether it be, Ospreay in the main event, you got Jay White, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, you got FTR, the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, and then the new stars. So that's who I'm giving the MVP to. I'm giving it to Ren Narita and Shota Umino. Ren Narita getting the win over Sonata, moving on to the finals, having a major matchup at Wrestle Kingdom for the NJPW World Television Championship against Zack Sabre Jr. That's huge for him. And Shota Umino getting his return to end off a big show for New Japan in Osaka in front of 4,000 fans. He got the big presentation, the big kind of like Switchblade Jay White in the past. He had it similar to that in November in 2017. Made his re-debut, and this felt like that for the Roughneck Shota Umino. So Umino and Narita is my MVPs. News, who you got?
I'm gonna piggyback off of what you just said. To be honest, I think that those are the two moments between Shota showing up at the end, basically solidifying himself as a main event star, challenging Will Ospreay, and then Ren Narita, man, for taking this thing and running with it. I think he's going to be a strong, no pun intended, strong New Japan World TV champ. I think that he's going to defend that belt across many a different company, not just New Japan Pro Wrestling. So we'll see how that barters in. I expect him to be the winner at Wrestle Kingdom. This is not even any shade thrown towards Zack Sabre Jr. I think Zack Sabre Jr. is going to give him the match of his life, but Ren Narita will find a way to win it, and so we'll see it that way. But definitely Ren Narita and Shota Umino as the MVPs of the match. But I will start off the LVP of the show here, as I usually do, and it is no other brother than the wackest pimp of all pimps, the one and only Yujiro Takahashi, taking the biggest L of all time. He is the LVP of this show here today.
Ness, who you got LVP?
Actually, I was gonna go with the House of Torture as a whole, because they both lost and not that great of a fashion. You got Yujiro got squashed, and then Evil just was made to look like a fool being tricked by all the fake Zack Sabre Juniors just to get rolled up. So
I agree with Ness 100%. As of first, when I thought LVP for the show, I was like, House of Torture. They're still they got beat in a total of 5 minutes. Total. The 4 minutes and change that Zack Sabre Jr. beat Evil, and then the 28 seconds that it took Hikuleo to beat Yujiro Takahashi. We only got 5 minutes of House of Torture on this show, but they were the biggest jabronis, the biggest losers on this show, so they are the LVPs.
There you have it. You have it.
So that is all for our NJPW Battle Autumn 2022 Roundtable review. Want to thank Ness. Want to thank J News for joining me here. J News, let the people know where they can find you on social media and when you'll be back here to talk some New Japan.
So on the socials, y'all can find me at on the Instagram. That's _JONJOY. Lots of non-posting, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Between my New Japan stuff and all my movie stuff, I'll be watching a movie later on today as well, or whatever. I do a lot of that on the solo tip. So if y'all want to get into that, y'all can get into that. From a New Japan standpoint, ladies and gentlemen, we have the historic crossover show on the 20th. Then on the 21st, we have the World Tag Leagues, both for the heavyweights and the junior heavyweights, commencing. Me and SP3 will be taking heed, and we will be taking the lead on those shows. So we might be tag teaming that. You might be seeing some solo runs from me, some solo runs from SP3, and then we'll converge at the end of these tournaments to give you guys the lowdown on the whole entire thing and how it breaks down. So that's how that's going to go down.
God damn it, I have another tournament to watch. Ness, let the people know where they can follow you and when you'll be back here with us.
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at skinny__Kravitz. And always here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel every Tuesday. NX3, myself, Chris G, and Romeo, we go live watching NXT. Every Thursday, myself and Chris G, we go live watching Impact Wrestling for Blunt Impact. Pop up here and there on the watch-alongs. I might be on tonight for Rated Raw Superstars, see how I'm feeling. I'm feeling great after some New Japan wrestling. I don't know if I want to soil that feeling with Monday Night Raw.
They gave you a good show.
They did give me a decent. I will say that I am interested to see some things play out after Crown Jewel. I will say that, but if it's anything like the booking of Damage Control, I'll just keep my peak interest elsewhere. And then on Wednesdays, Elite Heat, the Good Brothers, we go live watching AEW Dynamite and whatever other reviews, roundtables I can pop up on.
Yes, we always enjoy you joining us, Ness, and check out Ness over on our WWE Crown Jewel 2022 Roundtable review. Myself and Ness breaking down the action from Saudi Arabia with the amazing performance from Logan Paul, the new goat of professional wrestling. J News, get with the program.
I didn't watch.
Jump on the Logan Paul bandwagon before there's no more room left.
I refuse to do that, but okay.
Okay. You will be forced to acknowledge your new tribal chief. But follow me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. True Hill SP3. I'll be live later today with Alex McCarthy for, I believe, I'm not sure actually, but probably on ITR Clips. We do Monday Night Live usually on Mondays. I'm not sure if Alex is back from vacation, but we shall see. And I'll be live tomorrow on the Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast with Rick Ucchino. So definitely check that out. And I'll be back here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel on Thursday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. AE Ramble, myself and Jimmy McElram reviewing AEW Dynamite. Follow the gang Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at True Hill Heat for more New Japan Pro Wrestling content, for anything you're not seeing here on the channel. If it's not a preview for a major show or a tournament or a review of a major show or tournament, you will see most of our New Japan content over at patreon.com twitch.tv/True Hill Heat. $3 a month, the True Hill Heat Prediction Championship you could be a part of as well. So there's a lot to offer over there. Twitch.tv/True Hill Heat Wrestling, as well as ProWrestlingTees.com/True Hills for your True Hill Heat merchandise. Final comment. Apparently I'm going too far now, but it's all right. It's the end of the show anyway. So for J News, for Ness, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3, the #1 fan of the new GOAT, Logan Paul, and the secondary GOAT, Shota Umino. We are signing off.